now that we're a week into Overwatch 2, I figured it was time I gave my first impressions and review of the game thus far. First of all, let's talk about the good. And there's a lot of good things here. The game is great. 5v5 is fantastic. One tank is fantastic. The game is much more action-packed. Overwatch 2 there towards the end was just boring. It was just a boring game. Every map in Overwatch 2 is great. Overwatch 1 would give you that feeling of dread, loading into Volskaya. Everyone was having a bad time. Nobody wanted to be in there. There were a lot of maps like that in Overwatch 1. Those maps are gone. Those game modes are gone. All of the new maps are great. The new game mode is great. A lot of the problematic maps, they just took them out and are reworking them or have reworked them to where they are just no longer terrible. The new heroes are great. Mechanically, the abilities, the personality, the look, they've knocked it out of the park with the new heroes thus far. The reworks are good. The new Orisa, I mean, you can't sit here and tell me that the new Orisa is not way more fun and way cooler than the old Orisa. Every hero that's gotten a rework, for the most part, has been positive. Now, there's some balance issues that we'll get into in a second, but for the most part, the reworks from like a gameplay, 10,000 foot view are pretty good, and the game is pretty well balanced. All things considered, the game hasn't been play tested by the masses yet, but still, most of the cast is within parity of each other. When you look at these tier list videos on YouTube, a lot of the characters are in A or B. There's very few characters that are just really bad. And this is coming from a guy that mains Cassidy, who is one of the few characters at a high level that is kind of bad. But I, for the most part, am pretty happy with how well balanced the game is this early. I mean, this is the first time the game has been played by the masses. Yes, it's been played by the pros, but that's not really the same thing. Now let's talk about the bad. The obvious bad. Well, the technical issues were immense. This is genuinely one of the worst game launches in modern times. I mean, it's pretty bad that the game has been pretty unplayable for a lot of people this entire time. Like, there's been people that, they work their 9-to-5 job and they get home, can't play Overwatch. And it's been like that for a week because the servers are either falling over when they get home or they're doing maintenance at like prime time Friday night maintenance. Just like really weird times. I get that Overwatch is a global game, but I don't know, man. It's some of those maintenance times were just odd. Another thing that was kind of bad, and I'm not sure if this is intentional, but the ranked placement was super weird. I got placed in silver. Now, I know I'm washed up, but within a few days, I was in Masters, and there were a lot of people that got placed really, really low. Literal pro players that play in Overwatch League on the stage were getting placed in like silver and platinum. It was really, really odd. I don't know if that was like a technical issue due to the servers and the DDoSing and the disconnects throwing everything off. But yeah, dude, super weird. It was pretty crazy that I got put in silver. Now, another thing that's really bad about ranked in the new account system is you can only have one account per phone number, meaning that the vast majority of players of Overwatch 2 will just have one account because they're not going to deal with getting a second number and doing all these hoops and stuff. That's great for a lot of reasons. It helps curtail cheating. It stops smurfing in a lot of ways. But there's one huge reason why it's bad. And that is that learning new heroes is now very hard. It's very annoying, and it's going to lead to a lot of shitty situations where, I'll give you a perfect example. I play Ashe at a master's level, but I don't play Pharah at a master's level. Now, what am I supposed to do to learn how to play Pharah in a competitive environment? Some of you are going to say quick play, but that's a joke. Everyone knows that, like, once you're about platinum, and, once you're at about that platinum skill level, quick play is basically useless. You are just the king of quick play. I am a god tier Pharah of quick play, but I go into ranked masters, bro. It ain't happening, dude. I don't know what I'm doing, and the only way you can learn is to do it. Now, what people would do in the past is that they would have a secondary account that they'd learn their new heroes on, and that secondary account would be at a lower rank, meaning that when they wanted to learn their new heroes, they would be at an appropriate rank. You can't do that anymore. So, what does this mean? This means that my rank is going to be incredibly volatile. When I want to learn a new hero, I'm just going to tank, and I'm just going to basically throw games until I get to where I'm supposed to be for that particular hero that I'm trying to learn. And then when I decide to rank back up again, I'm just going to jump on Ashe and pub stomp for a couple hours and get back to where I was. That's not great. I personally don't care about my rank a lot. Like, it doesn't really bother me, but that's a lot. There's a lot of victims, right? Like, a lot of games are going to be shitty when I'm getting blown out of the sky playing a character that I'm not good at. And then I turn around and do it to other people where I'm just dominant. It's not great. So, I don't know if they can really rectify that. Maybe that's just, baked into the recipe, and that's just how it's going to be. And I expect that this is going to be a common thing that happens with Twitch streamers, where they just tank. Like, they just, hey, we're learning a new hero today. We're going to lose 20 games straight. And that's just going to be a thing. So now let's talk about the monetization. So for the most part, I think the monetization is fair. I think they'll need to make some adjustments for their own sake if they want to make money off of the store, but I think it's fair. So let's start off with the Battle Pass. I think the Battle Pass is a win. I think they have nailed it with the Battle Pass. I think it's a pretty good value. I think it's fair. I think that buying the battle, like, if you play Overwatch all year and you buy every single Battle Pass with your own money, not the currency you can earn in the game, you're paying less than $60 a year for all of the Battle Passes combined. I think that's fair. And the reason I'm okay with that is that it holds Blizzard's feet to the fire. If the game is bad, that money faucet gets cut off immediately. And Blizzard isn't getting a big lump sum of money with a new patch or a new expansion or a box price. They're getting $10 at a time. So every 9 weeks, like, they consistently have to please you to get your money for the Battle Pass. The incentive structure is better than a box price, in my opinion. Because if it's a box price, they get your money and then they hope you kind of forget about it, and then they lure you in with the new thing and get your money again. This way, it's actually a game you want to consistently play that they have to consistently make good, or else they just don't get the money. The incentives are very pro player, in my opinion. Now let's talk about the shop. The shop is a disaster, bro. They're going to have to make some adjustments. They're going to have to do some serious amounts of bundling and price dropping, because, quite frankly, they're just not going to make money on it, because nobody's going to buy it. I have not seen anybody with any shop skins, because, quite frankly, they're overpriced, and I just don't know who would buy them. And I'm somebody, again, I'm very pro spending money on games. If the game is good, I will spend money on it. I'll spend a lot of money. I'll buy the merchandise. I have Horde and Alliance flag. Like, I'll buy it, dude. I am very pro giving you money if you make a cool thing. But, man, who is going to buy a voice line for $4? Many of these things they're trying to sell they're just not very applicable in a lot of scenarios. This game is not like Fortnite, where you just play a guy and all of your cosmetics and emotes and everything you buy is usable. It's just not the case. Especially when you think about things like highlight intros, where it's like, not only do you have to be playing that hero, you have to get play of the game, and you have to assume that people stay and watch it and watch your cool, awesome highlight intro that you bought for $5. Like, it's not going to work. They're not going to be able to sell these things individually for any real price unless it was like $1. They're going to have to do like some serious bundling, especially with the skin. Like, some of the skins they're not the worst, but they're just not great. The Junker Queen skin in particular has been getting a lot of attention because it's like $20, and it's just not worth $20, man. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but it's just not worth $20. That could be a $10 skin that was bundled with a bunch of voice lines and a highlight intro and a whole bunch of other stuff. That would make sense. But on its own, no, the value is just not there. And yeah, some of this stuff they're trying to sell, there's just no way people are going to buy it. Even the biggest Overwatch fans are not going to buy it. Like, I'm your biggest fan, and I'm not going to buy a voice line for like $3 or $4. Like, maybe some super iconic voice lines or really well done stuff. An example would be like the Genji, like Merry Christmas. That's kind of like a meme where, you get your whole team wiped by Nanoblade and he goes, Merry Christmas. Maybe those, maybe. But, dude, a lot of the stuff just isn't worth it. And honestly, this is not even worth complaining about because they're going to change this. Flat out. Like, the numbers are going to... I will be shocked if these skins remain at the same price, and if they aren't bundled, the value just isn't there. They're just not going to make money off this. So they're going to have to adjust it for their own sake if they want to make money. But there's no point in typing up a forum post because it's gonna get changed. There's just no fucking way. Overall, I'm very excited about Overwatch 2, particularly if they can keep to their content cadence that they have said they're going to keep to with a new hero. We have 2 new heroes coming in the next 18 weeks, and then we have a new hero coming every 18 weeks, and a new map coming every 18 weeks. That is a lot of content coming really, really quickly. If they can genuinely keep that up and keep the quality of these things high, oh, dude, the game will pop off. Like, it's crazy. And so much of this game hinges on how good is the live service going to be. The game is great right now. We're all having a good time. Can they continually keep it like this good with new heroes as often as they say they're going to? I don't know. We'll see. And a lot of the monetization and the battle pass and a lot of people's tolerance for this stuff will they'll be more tolerant of the monetization if the game is a banger, bro. If the game is a banger and everybody's having a blast, I don't think people are going to care if a skin is a little bit overpriced. But if the game isn't that great, they will. So, perfect example being like Wrath of the Lich King, man. If you could go back in time and Wrath of the Lich King back in 2010 was $30 a month to play, you'd pay it. You'd pay it because we were all having that much fun. That the $15 a month, like it could be $50, dude. It was just great, right? So if the game's a banger, bro, people will pay. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to subscribe with notifications on. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and join the Discord. It's free.